Do you like gacha systems? Do you like point systems? Do you like refreshes? Do you like daily login bonuses? Do you like censorship? Well, do I have an app for you? Kmanga app by Kodansha. From the minds that brought you the hugely successful Manga Up app from Square Enix. Rejoice! Kodansha is finally here with their own app releasing in the United States in order to provide simultaneously all their releases to the United States as they released in Japan. Isn't that super exciting? Not really. Yes, it seems like Kodansha was watching Square Enix as they were releasing Manga Up, and they were like, man, you guys did a terrible job. Let's see if we can one-up you. Now, I will say, after looking at kmanga, which is the app that Kodansha is releasing in the United States, it's not as bad as Manga Up, but that's really setting the bar extremely low. I mean, for those who don't remember, Manga Up, which is Square Enix's app that they released worldwide, had a lot of issues at release. One main problem that a lot of people noted was the fact that it sort of took, essentially it's almost like they took Square Enix's gaming side and said, hey, make an app for us for a manga. You do good apps, you make a lot of money, make an app for manga. And they literally did that. Meaning they basically have all these systems that you would see in a gacha game in a manga reading app. So you have a point system, you have daily logins, you have expiration dates on all things you unlock. And the other big issue, I think the bigger issue, was that they were censoring things like crazy. And they used some sort of automatic algorithm to find things that looked like certain shapes, and they would just put a big old black bar on it. And they didn't even vet it. They just published it. And the main key thing there, and this is going to come up later, by the way, was they were trying to make it global, which is a lot of regions besides the United States that's really, really sensitive to skin. They don't want it there. And it seems like with Kodansha, they were doing the same thing with the point system, the gacha system, and everything else, but at the same time, yes, including censorship, but not to the same degree. There is censorship in this manga app that is not on other platforms, but at the same time, it's not as bad. Even though all censorship is bad, it's not that bad. But yes, for those who don't know, Kodansha launched their new kmanga app on Android and iOS. They launched with 400 titles, including 60 simulpub titles, featuring exclusivities for their platforms before the others. So here's a big problem that we're already running into, is now that Kodansha's in the game in the United States by themselves, they're gonna make sure that as they simulpub things, they get it first. So if you have another app that you're using, I don't know what kind of delays we're gonna see, but it sort of indicates there's gonna be some sort of delay between Kodansha having it on their kmanga app and you having it on whatever other platform you're using that has Kodansha titles. The kmanga app features a ticket and point-based system, providing normal tickets once per day, allowing users to read a single chapter of kmanga original series per ticket. Yay! One chapter each day. Which I guess if you're somebody that can pace yourself, it's a cool app. It's just, for everybody else, probably not. Users can get 3 to 4 premium tickets. Here's where it's already messing up for me. This is Japan gacha system here. Have as many types of currencies as possible. That way you're always confused as to what you're using. And when you buy things, you're even more so confused. It's creating confusion so that you overspend because you think you got enough and you didn't, and then you have to pay more. That's how Japanese gacha systems work, and that's pretty much a lot of companies in the United States anymore. But like I said, users can get 3 to 4 premium tickets per day from login and special campaigns. And special campaigns are typically used to create FOMO, fear of missing out. So you want to log in because you want to get these stupid campaigns unless you spend money. You can alternatively purchase points at about $1 per 100 points. I think it's like 99 cents per 100, and then of course add on to that taxes, and you end up paying like $1.07 or something. Most chapters costing 60 to 99 points. So you're getting one chapter per dollar. Whoop. Might as well buy a physical. It does seem like older series and series that are Kodansha that are older are cheaper. And then the newer series, newer chapters are more expensive. I think the highest points I've seen was 99. You can also gain points by watching ads and using the gacha system box. But yeah, that's where you basically get the gacha system, where you go in there and there's these treasure chest boxes and you watch this ad, you can skip it at some point, and then you choose a random box and the box will have a random amount of points in it. Probably geared towards pushing that whatever you tap is like a certain percentage that you're going to get like 5 points. Whoop-de-doo. I think in 20 days, I'll be able to finally read a chapter. And all I had to do was watch 20 ads. But yeah, suffice to say, terrible launch, terrible ideas. I really do at this point wonder, and stick with me here. What Square Enix did was essentially, again, it was almost as if they contacted their mobile app making side and said, make a manga app based on your gacha games because you make a lot of money, and they made a gacha game first, manga reader second. And with Kodansha doing the same thing, even despite the controversies around Manga Up, maybe it's because they look at the Manga Up ratings now, and for some reason it's now suddenly good rated again. I don't know if they bought ratings or if they had Google Play or something erase a lot of the bad ratings, but maybe they looked at that and said, hey, it's working for them, or maybe they asked them. I doubt they would tell them how much they're making from their Manga Up, but there's probably statistics out there that's showing that it's still working. But the main key thing here is it almost feels like Kodansha and Square Enix, I know it's a crazy theory here, it's almost like they're trying to make people not want to read digitally for the sake of selling physical. I don't know. There's very little benefit for them in that regard. I mean, they could be getting a lot of kickback from selling physicals in America, or it's the fact that they keep getting asked it and they're like, well, then here, have it, now shut up. And people are like, no, I don't want this. This is not what I wanted. It really begs the question, who thinks this is a good idea? It's really that kind of mindset that I think is not really understanding the market, and that idea that maybe this works in Japan, but it doesn't work here. People don't like it. And maybe the big obvious upset here is that although everybody believes it doesn't work and everybody hates it, it still sells. It's just like most gacha games and stuff. They're successful because some people pay into it, and they pay a lot of money into it, and that's all they care about. And that's the big sad thing in the mindset of a gacha game and the mindset of somebody looking at gacha games, is the idea that they think that it's doing really well, it's making a lot of money, but it doesn't necessarily match their market. A gacha game doesn't care how many people it really kind of funds. I mean, as long as it has a lot of people that are paying a lot of money into it, they're fine. They don't care to get the broader audience. Now, there is something to be said that free-to-play players in gacha games technically creates an ecosystem that makes people whale, and if they don't have free-to-play players to gloat over, then they won't play the gacha as much. But that doesn't really necessarily work in the realm of manga reading and IPs and such a broad scale of IPs. You want as many people enjoying it as possible because you want them to spread the word, and thus they'll buy the stuff. You're essentially creating an advertisement to give to people. They read that advertisement, they tell everybody about that advertisement, and then more people buy it. It doesn't create a good ecosystem for thriving properties. And it's sad this keeps happening. And like I said before, the bigger thing, and I think it was the biggest issue that I had with Manga Up, is censorship. If you have this app here, and it has its own, essentially age walls in it, why do you censor it? It doesn't make any sense. That's not your audience. Why are you censoring this stuff? And it's censoring stuff that shouldn't be censored. And that ultimately creates a big concern that I have, that this is going to go the same route as Manga Up. Why did Manga Up censor so much? They even said it themselves, where we're trying to release it globally, and there's a lot of regions where skin is not appropriate. Just the sheer fact of having a girl that has a skin-tight shirt on, not showing any skin, just a skin-tight shirt that has her figure in it, was censored. Because Manga Up, Square Enix was trying to get it in so many audiences around the world, including areas that didn't like that. And that means that the United States and everywhere else has to suffer because of their laws, and that we want to make one global version. We just press publish one time. We don't have to create multiple versions for multiple regions. We have to censor for everybody. And Kodansha is sort of indicating that's what they want to do, ? That's the scary thing. They've already stated that they want to make this a global app. They want to release it in other regions. But they specifically note they have to worry about restrictions in those areas. Now, the question mark's going to be, do they take the Manga Up route, which they're already doing everything else that Manga Up is doing? Do they take the Manga Up route where they censor everything? Thus, whatever you're buying right now on the app and renting, yes, there is a renting system in this game. Yes, I said game. There's renting systems in this app. Everything you're renting, buying, could possibly later be censored if they create one version for everybody. That's the scary thing, that they're going to go down that same route that Manga Up is doing, because it's easy. Just publish. There'll be some people that'll complain, but For the most part, most people see that black square that's covering up the entire screen, and they'll move on. That's the sad thing. Putting aside gacha systems, randomized points and everything, that doesn't matter too much to me because it's all free. You can choose to use it or not. But the more thing that concerns me is the censorship and the rental systems and all that kind of stuff that just pretty much bog down a reading experience. People want to read the stuff, not worry about, crap, when's my next refresh? Okay, well, I guess I'll buy it. How do I buy it? Okay, it's points. What's a ticket? I just need one ticket to buy this. How many points is... Okay, let me go back to the chapter. Okay, it's 69 points to unlock that chapter and another 69 for the chapter. Okay, how much is that total? Okay, now, how many boxes do I buy in order to... Okay, so that's like $3, I guess. Okay, buy... Oh crap, that wasn't enough points. I gotta buy another $1 worth. That's a terrible reading experience. Just create a subscription service. It works for Viz. It works for so many other companies. Why can't you just create a subscription service? Because they're in the mindset of Japanese gacha systems. They want you to be confused and buy more. That's the sad thing. And that's why this app, along with all the other apps, will not be used by me. But again, if you're somebody that can pace yourself, I guess just read a chapter a day or just go somewhere else. And again, if a lot of this stuff is available on things like Viz and stuff, just read it there. There's nothing here that's really drawing you unless you have to read that chapter right when it releases, which, yes, I think a lot of people are going to end up doing that. But anyways, that's my thoughts on the K-manga situation. I had a few people asking me, hey man, what's your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on this? And I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll get to it eventually. Let me download it. Let me actually look into it and figure out what all it's doing and if it is really that bad, and it's pretty bad. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure to hit that like button down below, comment, let me know what's thought of this whole situation. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button so you get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, I have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, and a membership button down below. I greatly appreciate everybody that supports the channel. You guys mean so much to me, and y'all take care.